Starting standing in parallel, we're going to start with 3 arm rotations, starting with the thumbs, moving away from the thighs, rotating all the way up into the shoulder girdle before rotating in, little fingers coming forwards towards the thighs. On the second one, allowing the shoulders just opening the chest at the top, and allowing the shoulders to slightly curve as you exhale and come forwards. On the third one, lifting the gaze further, allowing the shoulders to open a little more this time, and then allowing the shoulders to curve as you rotate inwards. On the last one, lifting the gaze and curving further forwards from the upper back. Lifting the hands this time into Urdhva Hastasana as you inhale, clasp the hands above the head, and we're going to bring the torso over to the right side as you exhale. Inhale back to centre and exhale over to the left side of the body. Keep rooting through both feet, back to the right as you exhale, and inhale back to centre, back to the left, keep using your core for stability, and then back to the centre. Exhaling, the arms down. We're going to inhale, coming into our Sun Salutation A, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, folding from the hips into our Uttanasana, forward fold. And inhale as we halfway lift, reaching through the crown of the head. Exhale to soften over the thighs, place the palms, step back to high plank, and exhale to lower into our Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling the chest through the arms to upward facing dog. And exhale, pushing the hips back, coming into our first downward facing dog. Heels are rooting down towards the floor, sit bones reaching diagonally up into the space behind you. All 4 points of the palms rooting down into the ground, and the arms rotating away from each other to create space beside the ears. We're going to look between the hands as we lift the heels, bend the legs, and step or jump the feet back to the front of the mat, reaching through the crown of the head as we halfway lift. Exhale to fold over into our Uttanasana, and inhale as we lift the arms up to Urdhva Hastasana. Lift the gaze. Exhale, coming back to Tadasana, standing pose. Bend the legs, sweep the arms as we inhale the torso into Utkatasana, chair pose. Keep the weight in the heels. Exhale as we twist towards the right, using the core to protect the spine. Inhale the body back to centre. Exhale as we twist towards the left this time. And then inhale the body back to centre once more. As we exhale here, we're going to fold over the legs once more in our Uttanasana forward fold. From here, you've got a choice to stay as you are. Place the hands on the shins, or you can come into Pada Hastasana, placing both of the hands face up under the soles of the feet. If you're in Pada Hastasana, using that weight falling now through the hands into the ground to pull and deepen the body into a forward fold. Breathing here, sending the breath to wherever the body feels it needs it. Taking the hands from under the feet, we're going to step our left foot back, coming into our high lunge. Inhale as we bring the torso up, lifting the arms. And then exhale as we bend the back leg, bring the elbows down, drawing the scapula down the back. Inhale to reach. Exhale to bend, draw in with the breath. Inhale to reach. Exhale, draw the energy into the body. Inhale to gain strength. And then turning both feet on the last inhalation towards the long edge of the mat. Going to inhale to lengthen and exhale to fold from the hips into our Prasarita Padottanasana. Holding onto the backs of the legs, or maybe on the floor, placing your hands in between your legs on the floor. Or maybe you've got blocks that you can place your hands on. There's also a choice here to do a toe lock around each big toe using the first 2 fingers and the thumb. Inhale to reach through the crown of the head to lengthen the spine, and exhale as we come back to standing. Reaching through the arms, we turn our front foot to face the short edge of the mat, keeping the back foot towards the long edge in Warrior 2. Hips are opening away from each other here, arms are pulling in opposition, forwards and backwards, keeping the gaze over the front hand. Keep breathing and holding the core. Inhale, turning the front palm and coming into our reverse warrior, keeping the back legs straight. Exhale as we wheel our hands back towards the mat, framing the front foot, and then lowering the back knee towards the ground, untucking the toes. We're going to come into our lizard pose here, so opening the front foot towards the side of the mat and lowering our torso to where we can to deepen that hip stretch. We're opening our hip flexors here. Keep reaching through the crown of the head to have length through the spine. And then placing the hands, we're going to lift the back knee, join the feet to the back of the mat in our high plank, and we're going to take a vinyasa of your choice. Chaturanga Dandasana to cobra or upward facing dog, and then hips pushing back to downward facing dog. Walking the feet here towards the front of the mat, towards the hands, back into our Uttanasana forward fold. We're going to start on the left side, bending the legs, sweeping the arms into our chair pose, Utkatasana, weight falling through the heels. Twisting to the left this time, using the core to stabilise the spine. Inhale back to centre. Exhale, twisting towards the right with the torso. Inhale back to centre again. Keep pushing through the legs, squeezing the knees together. And exhale over the legs back into our Uttanasana. From here, again, you have the choice. You could place the hands under the feet for Padahastasana. Keep the hands on blocks or on the shins. Or just keep them on the floor. Using the breath into the back side of the body, backs of the legs, back of the rib cage, soles of the feet. And keep breathing. This time we're going to remove the hands, and it's going to be our right foot that's going to step towards the back of the mat, coming into our high lunge once more on the other side. Inhaling, our arms above the head, bringing the torso up. We're going to exhale to bend that back leg, drawing the elbows down. Think of the scapula drawing down the back like wings. Inhale and exhale to draw that energy, the oxygen into the body. Inhale to gain strength, and then turning the body, this time to face the other side of the long edge of the mat, and then coming over into our Prasarita Padottanasana. Again, you've got choices here. The toe lock, holding around the backs of the legs or the ankles. Maybe you're using blocks under the hands here. If you find that your head is touching the floor, maybe just walk toe heel your feet a bit closer together to give you space. Or you can clasp the hands behind the back and let your hands fall towards the floor to open the shoulders. Keep breathing into the hips and into the back. Lengthening through the crown of the head, placing the hands on the hips as we exhale to come back to standing. Then we're going to turn our front foot, which should be our left this time, towards the short edge of the mat, bending that left knee to come into our warrior two once more. Check that your knee isn't caving in on the front foot. You should be able to see your big toe joint from the inside of your knee. Keep that back leg engaged and straight, and keep reaching. This is a strong pose. You're a warrior. Inhale as you reach back into reverse warrior. And exhale as you wheel the hands back towards the front of the mat, placing the palms, dropping the back knee, and then walking that left foot towards the side of the mat to come into our lizard pose. Again, just check in with yourself that you're keeping length through the spine, reaching out for the crown of the head. You can come onto your elbows here, but maybe you want to stay in your hands or place blocks under your hands, whatever feels right for you and your body today. Placing the hands again once more, we're going to untuck the back toes, join the feet at the back of the mat, and we're going to take a vinyasa of your choice. Maybe you want to place the knees down and go through knees, chest, chin, cobra or upward facing dog, and then back into our downward facing dog. From here, we're just going to drop the knees towards the mat, coming into our tabletop. Going to start with a cow here, bringing the chest through the arms, and then moving into cat. We're going to do this 3 times between the 2 poses. Keep inhaling and exhaling as you move between the 2 to give them flow, warming up the spine, sucking the navel towards the spine in our cat, and then allowing the chest to come through the arms as we arch our back in our cow. From here, we're going to start with some diagonal reaches, reaching forwards with the right hand and backwards with the left leg. And then exhale as we curve the spine, bringing nose towards our knee. Inhale to reach, expand. Exhale to curve and tuck, using the core to keep stable in the balance. Keep moving between these 2, using the breath to guide you between the movements. On the last reach, you're going to reach round and see if you can catch your foot behind your back. If you can, you're going to inhale as we open into a tiger pose, pressing ankle into hand. Letting go with control, going to bring the knee and the hand back to the mat, and then swapping sides. So pouring weight into that right hand and the left knee. This time we're going to reach forwards, left hand forwards, right leg back. Exhale, tuck the navel towards the spine, curving, knee towards nose, and then inhale to reach. Exhale to curve, inhale to reach and expand. Exhale to curve, and inhale as you reach the arm all the way around, catching the ankle behind the back, and then inhale to open the front side of the body. Push the hand and the feet into each other to help with the back bend and use the core to protect the spine. Letting go gently and bringing the knee and the hand back into our tabletop. We're going to draw the sit bones back towards the heel, coming into our child's pose. Breathing into the folds of the body here, allowing the weight of the head to fall through the forehead into the ground. You've got choices to have your knees open with your torso falling in between the knees, or to have them together and your torso, your belly falling onto your thighs. Breathing into this position, regaining the breath. Coming forward, you're going to take an open tabletop position, so hands and knees just a bit further forwards or away from each other than you would normally. And then lowering your chest and your chin towards the floor, rippling the hips onto the floor and coming up through the spine into our baby cobra. Inhale to look over the right shoulder this time as you push up, and exhale to lower. Inhale, looking slightly over the left shoulder this time, and exhale to lower. Inhale once more through the centre, and exhale as we lower, and then using the core, push our hips back again towards our heels, coming into a child's pose. Not staying there this time as we roll up, coming onto our knees in a kneeling position. From here, we're going to come into our seated position. You can either swing your legs through by pushing through the hands, using the navel towards spine and protracting the shoulders, create space for the legs to come through the hands, or just sitting one sit bone down and swinging the legs round the side until you're in a seated position. We're going to take Dandasana here, palms beside sit bones, reaching through the crown of the head, legs engaged, feet flexed. Drawing the right knee now in towards the chest, squeeze it into the torso and then plant the sole of the foot into the ground. Going to come into our Marichyasana C, reaching that left hand across so the armpit reaches the side, outside of the knee. Going to take a twist, either keeping the right hand planted by the sit bones or taking the bind around the back. Keep breathing here and keep drawing that navel towards spine to protect the back in our twist. Joining the feet, we're going to place our hands a bit further back from the sit bones and come into our Purvottanasana, opening the front side of the body, upward facing plank. And then we're going to go on the left with our Marichyasana C, drawing that left knee towards torso, planting the foot, planting the left hand as we reach the right arm up, and then bring the outside of that upper arm or the armpit to the outside of the knee. We're going to take a twist. Staying here with the upper arm pressing against the knee and the left hand planted into the ground, or taking a bind round the back if it's in your practice. Keep reaching through the crown of the head to have length. With every inhale, reach and lengthen, and every exhale, deepening the twist. Coming out of the twist this time, joining the feet, coming back into our Purvottanasana, engage the glutes, engage the core, and lift the navel and hips towards the ceiling. Placing the hips back onto the floor, we're going to extend through the arms and then come into our Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. You can take the bind around the backs of the feet, have your hands on your shins, or maybe you're using a strap around your feet to pull yourself down. Keep lengthening through the crown of the head to create length in the spine. And then exhaling to bring ourselves out of the stretch, just going to come back down to lying on the floor on our backs. Going to tuck our knees to our chest here, holding our knees with our hands, and just draw some small circles with our knees, just massaging the back into the ground. You can have the back of your head on the floor, or lift your forehead towards your knees, whatever feels good. Then coming into our revolved abdomen pose, holding the legs with our right hand and dropping the knees towards the floor. We'll be looking over to the left as we draw the left shoulder towards the floor away from our knees. If you want a deeper, more intense twist, you can cross the left leg over the right leg and then let the knees drop back towards the right side. Just breathing into the spiral here, letting go, relaxing, and then bringing the legs back to centre, holding with the left hand this time, allowing the knees to drop over to the left, gaze falls towards the right, and just feeling that twist from the knees on the left side over towards the right shoulder, which is drawing towards the floor. Again, option to cross the legs. This time it'd be the right leg over the left leg as we drop the knees towards the floor. Breathing here into this spiral, allowing the muscles to relax and fall towards the floor with the body weight. Bring the legs back to centre. We're going to hold on to the soles of the feet, coming into our happy baby. And then just pulling the knees, using the hands, pulling the knees towards the floor, opening the groin, opening the hips. Finding where's comfortable for you. Maybe you want straighter legs, maybe your legs more bent, maybe a wider position, maybe keeping the knees nearer the body. And you can take a rock here if it feels good for the spine. Just breathing into that hip opener. Taking a moment to relax the legs, letting go of any tension. Find what feels good for you. And then finally letting go of the feet, we're going to come into our Shavasana. Finding a comfortable supine lying position. Maybe you'd like your palms up, facing up towards the ceiling, the sky for receiving. Maybe palms down onto the floor for giving. Allowing the legs to just fall naturally open. And then just reconnecting in with the breath here. Just scan through your body, seeing what feels tight, what feels worked, what feels warm, what feels good. Trying to release any tension with every exhale. Anything that won't serve you. Inhale energy and positivity. And exhale anything you don't need. So feel free to stay here if you've got time and you'd like to. Otherwise, just bring your movement back into the body. Awakening up the muscles, maybe wriggling the fingers, the toes, and then slowly rolling our bodies onto either side. When you're ready, coming back up to seated. And then keeping your eyes closed if you'd like to. Just rubbing the palms together to create heat. And then placing them over the eye sockets. Blink the eyes open into the darkness of the palms. And then drawing the hands away from the face, allowing the light to come back into the eyes. Placing the hands at heart center. Namaste.